Thank you. So again, welcome to your practice. And we will again be exploring the beginning portion of the segment, focusing on placement or stabilizing meditation to work on concentration, like shine, calm abiding, with the second part on analytical meditation, and then showing you how you can apply the concentration to deepen the experience when you're analyzing part of the topic of the philosophy. Just to give yourself a sense of grounding in life, to be able to use a more peaceful, undisturbed state of mind in your everyday activities. So as you settle into a posture, it's also helpful, I have found, when you're doing these Zoom practices, if you have a device, you can just set on a table and leave it there, rather than holding something where you have a little bit of that tension of holding it. If it's possible, you can experiment with that. And find a comfortable space for the body, but the main part of it is to have your spine as extended as possible. Very important. And Rinpoche will say, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, to have as if your sides are long. So you want to think about the extension. Most of you are familiar with the rest of the posture, but if you're in a chair, it's perfectly fine to meditate. Just have your feet flat on the floor, or feel free to put them on a cushion or a block or something if that's more comfortable. But they're not necessarily, if you're in a chair, they're not crossed, one leg over the other. If you're seated on a cushion or a chair that's wide enough, then you may want to sit in any sort of cross-legged or lotus, half lotus posture to support the position. Perfectly fine. The head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are lightly closed or slightly open. And in subsequent weeks, we'll discuss aspects of the posture as well as we go along. The eyes are focused towards the tip of the nose or the floor and the space in front. Very subdued posture. We often place our right palm on our left face up with the thumbs touching. So it's a posture like this. And it's right against the body at the level of the navel. The thumbs are actually pressed, and that creates an opener for the heart chakra, the energy center at the heart. And there's also other reasons. So sometimes the arms stick out a bit, that's fine, reminding you of method and wisdom, the two wings of the bird that you need to fly to enlightenment. The other thing with the arms is it's an erect posture, so they're held actively against the body, not slumped in your lap, where your shoulders can then start rounding. You do the best you can. The lips are lightly together. Teeth are slightly apart. And the tongue can be curled to touch the upper palate in the mouth behind the front teeth. 7-point Vairocana posture. Vairocana is simply an aspect of the Buddha, normally white in color, who brings us our form. If the posture is uncomfortable for you, the more you practice this posture, the more comfortable it will be. Just like anything we rehearse and do again and again. And that's why we try to develop a consistent meditation practice. As you settle into this posture, allow your respiration to deepen. And bring your awareness to that respiration, deep inhalation and a deep exhalation. As you do this, consider your motivation again. Many of you have already set a motivation in the morning. You can reestablish a positive direction for your mind at any time of the day. And think about fully waking up, like becoming a Buddha, which means in Sanskrit, fully awakened being. And the reason we'd love to fully wake up is as a Buddha, as a fully enlightened being, you're also fully empowered to help all beings everywhere, every moment. If that's something that's appealing to you, feel free to include that in your motivation. And just take a moment right now to set that positive intention. Bringing your awareness to your breath. And now just a normal, natural breath. As we begin some concentration, it may be very difficult for you to stay on the breath. So you could focus on the space just outside the nostrils where the air enters in and leaves the body. You could focus on the rising, falling out of your abdomen. Or just noticing as the air comes in the nostrils, expansion of the lungs, abdomen shifting, and upon an exhalation, the contraction of that. Whichever helps you stay focused. Don't worry if your mind wanders. Simply become aware. And then bring your mind back to the breath. Please relax. It's just 5 minutes. Let's fine tune. It's very common to have your mind wander. So don't give up. We don't need stories that we cannot meditate, that we're the only one who can't meditate. That's part of meditation. So we learn slowly to train our minds. Bring more control to your mind. It's the only thing you can control is your mind. So once again, bringing the awareness to the breath and just introducing a little bit about shine or calm abiding. For instance, your mind is on the breath. So part of your mind is placed on the object, the breath. Okay, whether you're just focusing a little space right here. If you want, make a little golden drop of light right there outside the nostrils, if that's helpful. Tiny little radiant golden drop of light. If you want to hold that there, just imagining it's there. So if you think you're going to lose the breath and the mind's about to wander, brighten the intensity of the drop. Make it brighter. That sometimes holds your energy back, the mind there. Okay? But you're going to be here with the breath. Simple breath in, breath out. You're there, the mind is there. Bringing concentration. Okay? So shine is like you're following this thread of concentration right here. Thread of concentration. Okay? Takes a lot of effort in the beginning. 9 stages of shine, a lot of effort in the beginning. So again, your mind is here. If you open your eyes for a second, here on the train, the tracks, the thread, the distractions are going to come to try to pull you. You stay firmly. See the grip I have? It's firm on that object of concentration as best as you can. As best as you can. Let's try again, 5 minutes. And just place your mind on the object. And also it's helpful, make a determination in your mind to yourself. This is what I'm doing now. I'm going to keep my mind focused on the breath for 5 minutes without my mind wandering. You try your best. Please begin. and relax. So you just take your mind off the object for a moment. You can stay in the same posture and just look around the room for 10 or 20 seconds. This is how we can do 3 5-minute segments, focusing on concentration. And so what I really like to do is possibly once a month, we'll have an intro for meditation for new people so they can then feed into this group. So we'll continue on rather than repeating some of the elementary parts. Then we can jump into this group and really take you through to develop a good meditation practice. And even if this is all you do each week, fantastic. So again, the concentration helps you build concentration in everyday life as well. If your mind gets more focused, it will be more focused from meditation with your everyday activities. It's really, really helpful. Let's do one more segment like this. Excuse me. Fine tuning again. You have one part of your mind on the object, the breath, or the little golden drop of light outside the nostrils. Another part of your mind, we know the mind can do two things at the same time in a way. Another part of your mind is checking how you're holding the breath. Or if you're focused on an object, how clear is the object? How clear is the little drop of light if you're focused on that? Is it fading where you're about to lose it and jump off after a distracted thought? Okay. Then you're going to learn over time how to tighten up the mind, how to grab a hold of your object in a sense where you really zero in like a laser on your object. You start to get to know your mind in that passage, which helps to deepen your meditation practice. So again, back to the breath. That's our object right now. Or the golden drop of light, keeping you focused. Either is fine. So if you're focused on the little golden drop of light, just focus on that instead of the breath. You can close your eyes. Bringing my object to mind. And just think about your determination again. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to keep my mind focused on this object for the next 5 minutes without my mind wandering. I'm just going to do my best. The mind wanders, you just become aware it wandered off and back to your object. 5 minutes. Please relax. Just take your mind off the object for a moment, rest your mind. So it's wonderful if you're able to continue this practice. Just start in the mornings a little bit. If you have a little bit of time, just start building the concentration if you haven't already had your practice going. You can do this for the week. It will really help and enhance a meditation practice for you. You need to start the habit if you don't have it yet. Some of you have it, fantastic. And then slowly I'll start introducing to choose an object on which you want to meditate, a physical object. And sometimes we pick an image of the Buddha, which is uplifting for the mind, but you could pick something more familiar to you, and we'll discuss that in future sessions as well. So we're going to do meditation on getting us to know our minds, on the nature of our mind, just to get a sense of that, the spacious clarity of our minds. There's different types of meditation for this. So just relaxing again, feel free to close your eyes. Some of you have done this meditation with me before. Imagine right now you're lying on a grassy hillside, looking up into the expanse of a clear blue sky. And just as best as you can visualize, get a sense of the vastness and luminosity of that clear blue sky. And merge yourself with it as best as you can. This is helpful where you can then use your placement or stabilizing meditation that we just did to focus on that clear blue expanse of sky. The sky is like the mind, especially in this way. Clear is one of the qualities of the mind, clarity. Spacious, luminous clarity. So you may feel that your mind is not like that. If it's not like that, it's simply our tendencies to have delusion in the mind, imbalances in the mind. That's all. Every human has them. Absolutely normal for the human situation. Buddha situation, clear, spacious luminosity. Imagine, and you know when your mind is very clear, your thinking is clear, how buoyant you can feel, how helpful you can be. So as you focus on that expanse of the sky, that's our object of meditation, get a sense it's like your mind. So you may have a lot of distracted thoughts coming through in this meditation. No problem. But return your awareness to that clear expanse of the sky, luminous, radiant. So in a sense, see if you can notice what's between the thoughts. There's a space of awareness there between the thoughts. Can you see the thoughts like clouds? Clouds arise in the sky, as you know. They take shape. They abide in the space for a while. They change and eventually they pass away. Play with the thoughts like that. See them as clouds. No need to grasp, hold on to one any longer than another. Just let them go. You have the rest of your day to focus on some of the thoughts. We don't need to do that now. We're just going to return our awareness to that spacious luminosity of our mind, trying to find our way there, that is like the sky. Just try your best. And once again, stay merged with the clear expanse of the sky if you can. Then you notice some clouds, and there'll be some distracting thoughts often. It's normal. Again, let the thoughts go, but you see them there, it arises, let it go. It will more quickly pass away like the clouds if I don't focus all of my attention on them. And there is a space in between the thoughts. See if you can focus on that instead. I know it's harder, it's more subtle. Again, the space between the thoughts. Try to focus on that. And don't worry if you cannot find the space. It will arise at some point if you keep up with meditation. There is a space of awareness there that is your mind. And just think for a moment as you continue to just try to merge with the expanse of the sky. If that works for you, just keep there, reminding yourself that clear, luminous expanse of the clear blue sky is like your mind. It's really like the true nature of your mind, that clarity aspect, clear. As you stay focused there, if thoughts arise, distractions come, it's very normal. Just check. Where does the thought come from? Just ask yourself that. Where does the thought come from? And just return your awareness now that you're back lying on the grassy hillside, on your back, looking up. Just bring yourself back into your space right now where you are, where you're sitting. And please relax. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Okay, so I'm always interested in why the cat needs to come into the room when you're leading meditation. I should have shut the door. Excuse me a second. Can you please cooperate? Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. I remember at Milarepa Center, they would, only when we were leading meditation in the meditation hall in the attic is when they would come up and have to wind through everybody's laps, and otherwise you'd never see them. But then cats somehow have that instinct. I just want to ask anyone right now, any questions on the meditations or any challenges just in the remaining minutes we have. And feel free to ask anything about meditation if it's helpful. I'm just curious, some concentration on the drop, the breath, is some of it coming for some of you? Concentration going? Okay, great. I know some of you are used to meditating. So just as encouragement, honestly, If you're struggling now, the practice really, really helps. Anything we practice, as we know. So through that practice, and also the mind's different every day, even though it's still your mind, even though it's still your mind, it's different every day. So some days I wake up to meditate, and this is just giving you some juice when you meditate, is some days my mind's not very cooperative. I just notice I'm scattered, I'm tired, I'm agitated about something I'm working on. Very normal. So again, you cooperate with it. You kind of say, okay, well, maybe I need to do a more gentle meditation. You'll learn different meditations. You'll know which one to apply at different times, what's going to best help you. So if you really stay with this, and honestly, 6 months or a year from now, if you continue in some sort of meditation practice, you will notice differences with your mind, positive differences, more control over your mind. Absolutely. So, and then it's really helpful. Then I find there's days when the mind's working really well. It just feels concentrated, calm, clear. And then I might extend the meditation session a little bit like that. But still, there's a consistent time it might be happening. And you can experiment. If you have a day off, experiment with different times of the day. We're all different that way. Some people love to sit early in the morning. It's quiet. Maybe the house hasn't woken up yet, or people they live with. Some people are great late morning, late afternoon, sometimes evening. And sometimes you create a few pockets through the day where when you have the time, you experiment. So another thing is to leave your cushion, whatever seat you establish, when you're fresh in the meditation somewhat, where it's going somewhat well, so that I'm attracted to go back to sit in that space. That's why I would choose shorter sessions. People ask me, how long do you meditate every day? It doesn't matter how long I meditate every day. It matters how long you have to meditate and can create. So some people start 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, 5 or 10 minutes later, not after a meal, just be practical. It's hard to sit after a meal, 5 or 10 minutes in the evening, and then they see the benefits, so they start expanding those sessions. But to sit down and think you're going to meditate for 45 minutes to an hour, if you're newer and you just sit there spacing out and having distracted thoughts, is not the best use of your time. So we build up slowly to create that habit like that. And you will see over time the mind gets more cooperative. But again, it's always effort. Even for me, it's not, I've been at this for many years, but still, there's times distraction and it's not working well. Absolutely normal. And here's the piece. I am gentle with myself in the process. I'm gentle with myself in the process. So important with meditation. We're not jamming our minds, because that's what we're doing in everyday life on this planet. Everybody's jamming their minds. No time to think or be. No time at all. So I'm not going to do that with my meditation practice. If it's not going well one day, I'm just going to end a little early and go, well, it's as good as I've got today. I still have more time later. I have time tomorrow. I hope I live for tomorrow to have more time. Be gentle with yourself. When your mind wanders off, you gently bring it back to the breath. Okay. I'm not with a crowbar. Gently gonna back to the breath. That's how we, I think, also practice kindness with ourselves, like that. So always start, please, if you can, with a motivation, positive motivation at the beginning. Excuse me. Probably some cat allergies. And we always finish with a dedication in our tradition. I really love having those bookends around the practice. So I'd like to dedicate right now, and eventually I'll share my screen with some dedication prayers. For now, we'll just make a short dedication that whatever positive energy we've created from this time together, that may we build rich and consistent meditation practices, each of us in our own way, that will benefit our hearts and minds, and that will really be folded into the rest of our practices of perhaps study, contemplation, attending teachings, doing some retreat, doing some pilgrimage, whatever components you'd like to add to your practice, so that we can one day become enlightened, but that we can do it quickly. And the reason is there's so many beings that need our help right now. As humans, we're limited. As a Buddha, we're unlimited. So can we reach that place where we're unlimited in benefiting all living beings? Please dedicate in that way. Ogewadi no duda lama sange jugurne juajigama lubani zalago parjo. Janjus and Jorin Boje, Mage Panam Ke Gurje, Ke Panam Pame Payam, Gane Gandu Belwarjo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Kath, and thank you, Land of Medicine Buddha, for hosting. Hope to see you next week. The times may vary. We're going to try to get a consistent time. It's either be 9 to 10 or 9:30 to 10:30 Saturday mornings. We'll see how it goes. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Amy.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you,
Lovely to
Venerable.
see all of you. If you're interested, I'm starting a